Joining us now here on In the Circle in D1 softball. She's one of the more versatile players when it comes to the Big 12, and certainly in BYU softball. She can catch. She's going to be playing shortstop, as we'll talk about this year. She's, of course, Hailey Morrow joining us here on In the Circle at D1 softball. How you doing?
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
It's good to talk to you. Let's talk about this year's team. What's your thoughts on this group? You got some new faces, but you're going to be one of the veterans, one of the leaders, if you will. Give me your thoughts on this year's team so far as you get closer to the season.
Yeah, of course. So we had a great fall, and I think that we have a great mix of upperclassmen and veterans who have some experience in the Big 12, but also a great mix of freshmen and a great mix of transfers. So I think we have a great group of girls this year, and ultimately, I believe that our team just believes. We believe that we belong. We believe that we can hang with and beat the best teams in the country. And I think that's what is a huge part of it is you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have the right mindset, it can be really tough, especially in the Big 12. So we have some great hitters. We've got great additions to our pitching staff, and we're healthy this year, which is a great thing. So I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what we do this season.
Who are some of the leaders on the team?
Yeah. So with like upperclassmen, we have Kason Korth, who is one of our pitchers who was injured last year, but she has a great presence on the mound and people tend to like gravitate towards her. And so she's a great leader when it comes to being in the circle. We have Alea Agbayani, who I'm pretty sure is like a sixth year. So she just has so much experience, right? She's been there, she's done that, she understands what it takes to be successful. And so I think that she brings such great leadership qualities. And believe it or not, like we have great leadership in our entire team is just built of leaders. We have freshmen who, they're in their first season of college right now and college softball, and they know how to lead, whether it's by being super loud and vocal or just by being a super hard worker and getting the job done every single day. Um, it's really great. And so we've got leaders in all aspects of our team, and we can all work together to make great things happen.
Is there a motivation, maybe a chip on the shoulder for the returners? Last year, you dealt with so many injuries, and yet you fought and overcame a lot of that, had some great wins, made a run to the Big 12 semifinals, ended up just short, first four out of the tournament. Does that give you motivation for the returners of, hey, with all the adversity, we overcame a lot of that, and yet we were right there to the tournament. Now this year, this is our year. Is that motivation from last year?
Absolutely. That is something that I think about every single day. It's a huge motivating factor. It's so hard to even explain. Like sitting in that room when the teams were being called for the tournament last year and we didn't get called, it hurts because you work so hard for something. And we had injuries, we battled adversity last season, and we still made a name for ourselves and proved that we belong. So yes, it's definitely a huge motivating factor. And I know like our team this year, our goal is to prove to everyone why BYU deserves to be in the tournament this year. And we're going to leave no doubt in people's minds that we can make the tournament, and we will.
Let's talk about you a little bit. I just talked to Coach Eakin. You're going to be playing shortstop. It sounds like full time this year. You played shortstop, but you've also catched. You were asked to do a lot of things last year for various reasons. How do you feeling? What have you worked on this offseason and anticipating now playing shortstop?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so yeah, the past 2 years I've caught here at BYU. This year I'm looking to play some shortstop, which is exciting. Um, Ultimately, I want to play. I will play anywhere if it gives our team the best chance to win. So if that means I'm catching, that means I'm playing somewhere in the infield, or if I got to go to the outfield, I will do whatever it takes for our team to be able to compete and to give us the best chance to win. I'm super excited to be playing shortstop this year. That's what I've done my whole life. So shortstop kind of has my heart, but I also loved catching. And catching, I truly do believe that catching has made me a better infielder. It's increased my situational awareness in the game, and catching is a very physical position. And so it's made me play with more physicality and also just be more mentally tough because that is a huge part of catching. So translating over to being a shortstop, being able to see things, like see the whole field better, be able to think on my feet, move side to side. I'm just super excited to play shortstop and to do that for the team.
How do you mindset wise? Because I think at times you've played both positions in the same game because of moves that have been made. How do you compare catching versus playing shortstop? Two very high demanding positions for different reasons. And you've played both. You've had to play both at times during the game. So tell me the differences in playing both positions, and then the mindset of maybe one inning you were catching, then you're going to shortstop, or vice versa.
Yeah, and I can remember one home game where I started the game catching and then I moved to shortstop about halfway through and then I actually finished the game playing second base. So never in my entire life did I think that I would play three positions in one college game. But ultimately, I think it comes down to just being willing to compete and know that like, okay, my teammates have my back and we've worked hard for this. And so let's say like starting the game catching, I feel like when you're a catcher, you are just being the biggest supporter for your pitcher. That's a really, really tough position to be in. And so just being the best supporter for them, bringing so much energy and passion. That was like one thing I loved about catching is I could give a nice like, hit my glove, just try to get people engaged and have energy when they play. And then when I'm out at shortstop, I I love it because I'm able to like move my feet and have good footwork and go side to side, which is similar to catching, right? Like when we block, like we got to go both directions. Um, and being a catcher and then going to shortstop has taught me a lot about being physical and always attacking the ball, which is huge. And now, like as a shortstop, I understand like I want my catcher to do this for me, so I'm going to do this for them. So it's been great at kind of expanding my understanding of the game. It has definitely increased my softball IQ, and I hope to keep making that better this season.
No, that's a great breakdown. Thank you for sharing that. I think a lot of fans and maybe youngsters that are playing will take a lot of that. Of course, it helps to be a great athlete, which you are, and you come from a family that's got a lot of great athletes. So let me get this right. Correct me if I'm wrong. Your mom played softball in Southern Utah. You have a cousin that played football at BYU and a cousin that runs track at BYU. Accurate? And then who else am I missing? Anybody else I'm missing in the family?
Nope, that's all right. And then I actually just have another cousin that just verbally committed to play volleyball here at BYU.
Whoa! So you're all trying to knock down every sport there. I mean, what's that like? What was it like growing up in a family like that plays sports, especially your mom who's played softball? So I would imagine that has been a big help to your career at softball.
Yeah, absolutely. Like my mom playing softball in college has really been like one of my biggest supporters and one of my biggest role models because she's been there and she understands what it takes. And so she would teach me about working hard, always being like, hey, let's go do ground balls. And so even when I was just home for break, I'd be like, hey, mom, do you want to come hit me some ground balls today? And so it's kind of a cool full circle moment. Um, and then like with my cousins, we grew up together. We would get together and do a lot of things as a family. And I don't think ever in a million years we thought that we'd all be playing a college sport at the same school. And so it's awesome. We get to support each other. Like I've been to the football games to support Harrison. Maddie's on the track team, watched her compete. And then my younger cousin, her name's Kylie, and she'll be here in 2 years. So it's just super excited. We've got a family for life here at BYU, and I love the atmosphere.
What position did your mom play?
My mom played shortstop and she also pitched.
Wow, that's ironic. So she's an athlete herself as shortstop. So is that what influenced you playing shortstop growing up? Is that what also got you into playing softball growing up?
Yeah, I would definitely say that like my mom played a huge part in that. Growing up, I played a lot of sports. My parents wanted me to try everything. So I played a lot of basketball, volleyball, tennis, and softball. And what really drew me to softball was just the team atmosphere. Like in tennis, I played singles, but you just can't describe the feeling of having 23 sisters with you that have your back, and we can all compete together for like a common goal and to do great things and to be successful. And so I think that's what really drew me to softball. And I just remember from the first time I picked up a softball, I was playing shortstop. So it's another cool full circle moment for me.
You were hooked, and then you play tennis. And if I'm not mistaken, aren't you like the best ping pong player on the team? Is that what I've been told from sources there? So obviously the tennis background helps in that. I play tennis a little bit, not at a high level, but I love ping pong. I would imagine you're in the similar boat.
Yeah, my brother would be really mad if he knew that you said that like maybe I'm the best ping pong player in the family, but I'll stand by it. And we're just really competitive. So whatever we do, we're gonna try to to be good at. And so ping pong is one of those things that we got into when we were younger.
Would any of the softball teammates have any issues if I said you were the best ping pong player on the team?
I don't know. I will have to put it to the test. We've played a couple times, and I will say my team has some really, really great athletes. So there'd be some really competitive matches
Ooh.
going on.
Okay, okay, very good. Did you like follow tennis at all? Or you just like the sport, or do you follow, like, for example, the ATP tour, the WTA, any of the majors of that stuff? Like, I'm fascinated that you play tennis of the sports. Basketball makes a ton of sense. What was it that grew you to playing tennis?
Honestly, just trying to live a balanced lifestyle, trying new things. I'm a firm believer in playing other sports has made me a better softball player, and vice versa. And so, yeah, tennis was awesome. I played singles and doubles, and yeah, I still follow tennis a lot. I like watching it on TV. It's a really fast-paced game, and so it's really fun to watch on TV.
Do you see yourself being on the bandwagon of a lot of people that are jumping in on pickleball?
I will, and you've caught me. I am a huge pickleball fan, and that's
Yeah.
actually one of our team's favorite activities to do together is to play pickleball.
Who's the best pickleball player?
Honestly, I'm gonna have to give the gold medal to Coach Ken.
Really?
Coach Ken is one of the best pickleball players I've ever seen.
Wow, high praise there. That's pretty big praise there. Did you have favorite athletes growing up?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up playing a lot of sports, and so I kind of like to follow different athletes. Obviously, have to pick my mom as number one. She still holds records at SUU for some hitting statistics, which is cool. And then in basketball, I love watching because basketball's a physical game. So I love watching people who just like to lock down on defense. Obviously, I like watching Steph Curry because he can shoot lights out, and I just like the way he handles himself and his presence on the court. And so, yeah, I would say I have some role models in a bunch of different sports, and they all can help me at different times.
You ever watch Steph Curry in person?
No, but that's on my bucket list of
Got
things
to
to
do
do.
it. Got to do it. It's trust me, I've done it. I've covered him. It's a show. Even the pregame. The pregame's a show because he'll shoot it from all over the court, and people go there in droves early just to see him practice. It's a scene to be on behold. So that's my recommendation to you there. Now you and I are unique. I do everything righty except putt in golf. I'm a lefty putter. I have learned that you do everything left-handed except softball. How did that all come about?
I honestly have no explanation except it's what comes naturally to me. I used to hit left-handed in softball, but switched over to the right side when I was about like 12. But yeah, in basketball, I shoot with my left hand. I can only kick with my left foot. Used to write with my left hand, but now I write with my right because it's more convenient. And yeah, so I seriously I do everything with my left side except for softball.
Look, it's working for you. It's working very well for you. Let's talk a bit about your sister, because obviously I know Maddie Bejarano's your former teammate. I had her on last year, and we talked about her brother who has Down syndrome. Your sister has Down syndrome. Just tell the audience a little bit about that, because I know you and I talked briefly off the air about that, and I remember that she got to throw out the first pitch with Maddie's brother. So just share that story for those that may not be aware.
Yeah, so I have a younger sister. Her name's London, and she's 16, and me and her are best friends. We do everything together. She's one of my biggest fans. She's at all the home games, and she's always my biggest fan. Um, And last year on National Down Syndrome Awareness Day, we happened to have a home game. And so we had my sister London and then Maddie's brother Tanner actually come out and throw first pitch before the game. And we like made a big deal out of it. My team was actually wearing mixed match socks because that's one way that you can like promote Down syndrome awareness. And it was just a really cool experience. And it like reminds me like there's so much more to the game than just softball. And like giving my sister London and Tanner like an experience that they'll probably never forget. My sister still talks about it every single day. Like, oh, I remember when I threw that first pitch. And if you haven't seen it, you need to go look it up because she actually threw it about 20 feet over my head. And so I didn't even actually catch it. But it was an awesome experience and like just very eye-opening and very humbling moment. And it's just the best. Like before every single game, I'll get a text from my sister that'll be like, good luck today, Hailey. I love you. You better hit a home run for me. And so she sets the bar pretty high, but she is my biggest fan. In every video, I can see her standing up and cheering and she gets all excited. And so yeah, she's the best. She's one of the best people I've ever met in my entire life.
Apparently, she has a strong arm there. What do you underestimate a rise ball or what? They throw that's pretty high there, going deep there. That's pretty good. How much does she is she able to watch you play in person often?
Yeah, I'm originally from Las Vegas, so it's about a 5.5 hour drive. So at every home series, my sister and my family will be there, and she's always watching on TV if she can't be there in person.
You remember the first time you went to the BYU campus? What drew you to go into BYU to be a student athlete?
Yeah, well, BYU in general is one of the coolest atmospheres I've ever experienced in my entire life. BYU is a really well-rounded university, so they place a really high emphasis on one, like athletics, and the athletics programs have all done really well here at BYU, and then academics is huge. Like I know that when I graduate from BYU that I'll be built for life and that I will always have connections and a network of people that can help me. And then third, they place a huge emphasis on our like spirituality and having a relationship with God in whatever way, like however that means to you. And so obviously that drew me to BYU because those are three things that are really important to me in my life, and I could get them all here in one place. So, and I have family in Utah, so it's nice to be have like a home away from home.
What's your goals post softball?
I would love to go after I graduate from BYU. I would love to go play professionally. And after that, I'm going to have a lot more schooling because right now I'm going the pre-med route. So I would have
Oh wow,
long road ahead of me with school.
yeah, you got a while there, but that's impressive. Hey, good for you.
Thank you.
We need more people like you from that standpoint. There, you mentioned what you learned on the field last year, playing in the Big 12. What was it like traveling to some of the new places in the Big 12 last year? I know you, like for example, you got to go to Orlando last year. You got to go to Oklahoma. You got to play at Oklahoma City. And now this year we got new members with Arizona, Arizona State, and that other school in Utah, which I think you know very well. Uh, Take me through some of the like. Is there a city, a place you've been intrigued or were excited to visit or are looking forward to visit?
Yeah, the Big 12 is awesome. We've got a great mix of schools on, different parts of the country. So last year when we went to Orlando, that was cool. I had never been to that side of the country before, so it was awesome and it was nice and warm. Being from Vegas, I appreciate the heat. And sometimes in here in Provo, it can get pretty cold, like it's snowing here today. Looking ahead at our schedule for this year, um, obviously I'm excited to play in Oklahoma City at the end of for the Big 12 tournament. We also we play at Baylor this year. We play at ASU. We go to Houston. We go to Iowa State. Those are some I can think of off the top of my head. But I'm super excited. I love college sports in the aspect of you get to travel and you get to go to like cool places with your best friends. Like it can't get much better than that. So honestly, wherever we go with our team, it's always fun because I just love my teammates and we've got an awesome group.
What's it like playing in that stadium last year at Oklahoma City? You knocked off Oklahoma State. knocked them out in that opening round of the Big 12 championships there in the quarters before you run into the semis. But what was that feeling like to play in that same stadium where the World Series is held?
It's awesome. And it's like, it's so hard to even describe because that's as a girl who plays softball, you dream of playing there, right? Like that's the best. Like you strive to be there. And so playing there, I've actually played there once when I was 12, when I played in the All-American games. So this is my second time playing in that stadium. And the energy, the atmosphere, the fans, um, you just get the full experience. And it was awesome. And I can't wait to play there again with my team this year.
For people that have not watched you play, describe your style of play.
Yeah, I would say I like to play the game. I like to attack the game, and I like to play with passion and energy and grit. I just love to compete and I want to win. So you'll usually see me like, hitting my glove or, giving a fist bump because I like to play the game with emotion and that helps me play better. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
Describe going to a BYU football game or basketball game, volleyball. What's that like at BYU? Football just had a great season. Men's basketball had a great season last year. Is having another season. Volleyball had a great season. Do you all feed off each other as student athletes?
Yeah, it's awesome. We see athletes at BYU all our friends. We all support each other. We like to go to each other's games. And like if I could describe any BYU athletic game or venue, I would just say like it's electric. Like it is insane. Everything feels like it's vibrating all the time. Like the fans are insane. It's just like a really cool experience. And if you haven't experienced it, you have to because it's once in a lifetime for sure.
It should be a lot of fun, and people are certainly going to have be anticipating BYU Utah games too. That rivalry in the conference will be highlighted. I think plenty. What's it like playing for Coach Eakin?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Coach Eakin's the best. I have had the pleasure of knowing him since I was probably about 10 because I've been going to BYU camp since I was about 9 or 10 years old. And so, actually now playing for him has been awesome. I can't imagine playing for anyone else. He not only is like a great coach, he's full of wisdom and like has so much experience in the game of softball, but also like outside of the field, like he's honestly like a father figure. Um, he's awesome. Like I am just so honored to play for him because he has done so much for me. He's made me a better player, made me a better person, and it's been awesome. So I'm super grateful for our relationship.
That's fantastic. Two last things. You mentioned your mom was a pitcher, so that means she probably threw you a lot of pitches. Don't be shy here. Who won most of those battles here? You bet you get some hits off of her, hit her pretty clean. I mean, or she has still some. If she threw you batting practice today, she still has some good stuff.
Oh, my mom can move the ball. And so I give her a lot of the credit. If I have success at the plate, I'm like, Mom, thank you, because for those 10 years growing up playing softball and you throwing to me and like I owe a lot to her. She definitely can pitch the ball well.
Very good. Last question for if people go out to see BYU play this season, what do you want people to see?
Yeah. I want people to see our team as a team who is going to fight, a team who's, if we're winning by 10, we've got the foot on the pedal. If it's a close game, we're down by one, we're going to be gritty. We're going to have energy. And our team likes to have fun. So you'll probably see us doing like crazy cheers in the dugout, um, just hyping and trying to support each other at all times. I feel like that is what you're going to see out of our team. We're going to fight and we're going to make a name for ourselves this year.
That's Hailey Morrow, BYU star shortstop now this upcoming season. Got to get used to that. Last year I was calling you catcher. Now you're shortstop, but that's a good problem. It's a good deal. Look forward to watching you play shortstop. Hey, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us a little bit about you and the program. Good luck this season. Stay healthy, and I know we'll cross paths at some point during the year. But in the meantime, thank you for coming on here on In the Circle on D1 Softball.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And yeah, we'll stay in touch throughout the season.